Welcome everyone, once again game from the PCC6. It has been one hell of an event and here we're entering finally the last quarterfinal in terms of tournament game review, and that was like Professor's, again nobody's business. To be fair, Professor was the high favorite coming into that match, nobody's business considering like the weakest team out of the top 8. And here we are going to focus on the offlane where we're going to see Nitro with the Zarus focusing against Wumbo on the crunch. And to be fair, that's a masterclass by Nitro. There is a lot to be learned for all of you guys offlaner out there, so I hope you enjoy. So for those game, I decided to watch out, I think the first game we're going to watch Nitro in the offlane. The matchup is the Zarus into Crunch being played by Wumbo. And we're gonna see like a little bit of like this bruiser offline matchup. We didn't watch a lot of offlaners, so that's why like we're going to go for that. And yeah, Nitro, one of the top player in this game, pretty strong. Here in terms of ganks, we do have a Chimera that can come for the ganks. Chimera, usually it's pretty easy to actually like disengage with the Zarus because you have the barricade, you do have the dash, so you have two options to disengage from like any ambush. But at the same time, like Crunch, once you get level 6, you already have normally a lot to use as the Zarus to be able to fully disengage from like that. And so like that's where like the Chimera just arriving on top can actually like become very complicated. But as any bruiser kind of matchup in the offlane, it's very important to not fall behind early on either side, because then like the itemization means that you're just gonna get destroyed very hard. So let's see how it goes. The early levels should go to the Zarus because like the Spear of the Near poke is pretty potent. Here we can see that Nitro is spacing, trying to not get hit because it do miss the ability. And so for those that have seen my offlane guide, as soon as Nitro like miss the Spear of Near, that means that no, it's an ability advantage window for Wumbo. And so Wumbo was trying to take advantage of that by stepping up and getting the right crunch in. But Nitro playing very well and keeping his distance, so Wumbo didn't find like the opportunity. Because Spear of Near does damage, but the left crunch does more damage. So you need to get like more Spear of the Near, which is easier to land than the left crunch, than your opponent. And here we get the level 2 on both characters. So Wumbo respecting the early level up transition, as we have seen, it just like back out on the timing of the level 2. And he's not stepping up here because like the barricade can actually like be a lot of damage. And here he decides to step up to get the minion, and here it loses very harshly the trade. And as you can see, Wumbo kind of being patient, accepting that he doesn't win the level 2 because he needs to reach the level 3 to start winning the trade back in that matchup, because from like how the health bar were. But then he became impatient and decided to step up and get like a last hit. And no, because he tried to get the last hit, like this whole situation means that Wumbo can't play. And the next wave will be like clear very fast. And then that means that open up a window to go for the teal buff. That means that Wumbo is actually like, even if you get gank here on the side of Nitro, like Wumbo is solo that it's not an easy gank at all. And so Nitro can keep like applying a lot of pressure. The next wave is arriving. Wumbo can't step up, getting poke back. And now we have this whole wave going on the tower. Nitro have a free reset, have a free teal buff. And that all comes down of Wumbo actually like stepping up on the moment. It doesn't have the advantage for the trade. And like barricade plus Spear of Near at level 2 from like the Zarus is absolutely insane. And here like usually like people would have resetted on the side of, like I saw a lot of offlaner that said like, okay, I got my sand buff, I just go for the reset. But here like we see that Nuxlit is on the mid lane, so that means the jungler is not here, so you can keep denying like Wumbo here. And so that's exactly what Nitro is doing. Like the longer you stay in lane while zoning, and here you can see like the wave is pushing back into the other direction. So the longer you can stay, like the better it is, because here you can see it's like completely slow pushing on the side of Nitro and Wumbo can't step up. So Nitro is going to get every single last hit while Wumbo is gonna get 0. And so if you would have resetted, that means that then Wumbo could have gotten like most of those last hits, crashed the wave probably, and then like be kind of fine because he can get for an item, and Wumbo just reset and you both reset. So that would have been like a big mistake. And here Nitro is playing like this situation perfectly. He's gonna deny also like the cannon, so he's gonna get like so far ahead in terms of gold. And like I told you, in Bruiser, in offlane, if you in offlane against like a Bruiser matchup, if you fall too far behind early on, like it's over, you can't play anymore. And here you can see like Wumbo needs his jungle to come. If his jungle is not coming, Wumbo is 100% dead. But very well played by Nitro, very methodical, surgical early game. Take advantage of one mistake of Wumbo to actually step up on the trying to get like one last hit, and this last hit cost like this whole situation is because Wumbo decided to step up to get that last hit. And so sometimes you must sacrifice like an early last hit to actually like not lose like 20 last hit afterwards. So finally for Wumbo is going to start pushing back into the other direction. So finally Wumbo will be able to catch a little bit of farm, but still like, and so as you can see here, the wave is starting to push in the other direction. Immediately Nitro is going to try to clear as fast as he can. We also know that Nugslit is around, probably from like the reset of this right side of the jungle, and so now he's just gonna take the reset. He also like here, like I know usually we recommend that people to go for the crash, but the problem is like Wumbo needs to reset. Wumbo can't stay in lane and just freeze, because if he does that, like here you can see, Nitro is going back to base. He has a full Temporary Reaper, a Spell Slasher, working towards the augmentation. And if actually like Wumbo is actually like freezing, well, it's not gonna go well for him because Nitro gonna be back on the lane, and then he can absolutely dive him and all sort of bad things happen. So here Nitro understand that, not gonna lose his tempo, go back immediately back to base instead of like crashing the wave and not exposing himself to a potential gank from the enemy jungler. So here like Nitro kind of want to kind of crash the wave, so he get the wave bouncing back towards him, and that way he can actually like go for the another freeze if he wants to. But here Wumbo is actually like tanking the whole wave, trying to freeze it, while like Nitro is just like going for the teal buff. Wumbo going up here is actually like kind of grave because you can't out secure Zarus. You do have to be careful though, because Wumbo is now level 6, but because he has gone for that, the wave has kind of crashed on the tower, and now we get like the bounce back that is going to happen. On the other side, we do have the Bloodlighter, so actually Wumbo has better sustain on the long run. So Nitro needs to be careful, because then he can sustain on the side of the crunch, and suddenly if the sustain goes through, it's gonna be scary. But now we have like Wumbo that is kind of very, very low. We can go like for the spear. Coliseum spear is very, very close to be like a kill. We can also like go barricade flash spear to kind of surprise Wumbo. Like all sort of bad things can happen to Wumbo, and he has to be very, very careful. Here he can't stop this lane from crashing. We go for a little spear, very well played by Nitro. We go for the Coliseum, forcing the flash immediately. And I love that play because true, we don't get the kill. Unfortunately, we go for the flash afterwards, which is not correct. But I love the play because as soon as Wumbo step ups, like Nitro go for the kill, probably not gonna get it because Wumbo has the flash and Wumbo very great reaction. But that means that all the minions you put on their tower, Wumbo can't stay to get them, otherwise he's dead. And now you put another wave on the tower, and now you can reset. And so you reset with slightly more gold than the opponent, and on top of that you denied it like some experience and farm again, while also setting up like a bounce back. If Nitro did not use his flash to try to get the kill on Wumbo, I think like trying to go for the flash to get the kill was a mistake, because now you have 5 minutes where you have flash up and the opposite like offlaner doesn't have it. So at any point you can kill him later on, or you can completely like stop him from playing the game once again. And so you can see here 33 CS at 73 CS, 40 CS down. Like this crunch can't play the game. So we get like on the side of crunch, we get like one short sword from the back while we get a full serrated blade. Now we get Nugglit that is coming like for the gank, and suddenly That could be like a kill. We get the jump afterwards, and that's also like one of the reasons I don't like Nitro going for that flash. Because we go for that flash, now we don't have our flash to survive the gank, and that was the only solution that Wombo had to come back into the game, was if like Nuxit was coming and actually like ganking. And as you can see here, Nitro is actually like losing a lot. And so Nitro was doing like a perfect game so far until he used his flash aggressively, and suddenly he's still ahead. Don't get me wrong, he's still like super far ahead, but still that kind of put Wombo a little bit back into that game because he was like completely out of it.
Enemy has activated your prime.
And we also like offered a mini prime to Wombo to help him come back into that game once again. Wombo is trying to crash that as fast as he can because he wants to go back. He doesn't have a lot of mana. But I don't think he can actually like afford to fully crash that. But then he's just gonna secure like the chill buff. Nitro can't contest that. And you can see like no Wombo. I completely catch up in terms of experience. In terms of last hit, of course, we are not there yet. But we catch like, he was like 40 CS down and now it's only like 20 CS down. So he kind of reduced quite a lot, and that all comes down of Nitro using aggressively his flash in a situation that he was like completely dominating 100%. So now, any offlaner is not there. There is not much to rotate for since Fangtus has been taken, Mini Prime has been taken. So no need to hard crash the wave. And here we do have a gank from 6 going for the colossal blow. Wombo using his dash aggressively to try to bully Nitro. That's a big mistake in the offlane. You can't use your dash as the crunch if you don't know where the enemy jungler is. And here, Wombo did that mistake, 6 appear, that's a free kill. And suddenly like Wombo is falling back behind again. And so we crash the wave, we're going to go for the reset. We're gonna secure like the Icecorn Talon, probably gonna finish the augmentation as well. And actually no. I'm not so sure what Nitro is building because that's clear in augmentation, and now he's working towards the Tainted Blade without finishing the augmentation. Oh, I guess it's still like working towards augmentation and didn't have like enough like gold to actually finish it. So Wombo is going for the rotation in the mid lane, as we can see, trying to impact the map a little bit. So that means that Nitro immediately is going like to a hard push to try to shove the wave and maybe like apply pressure on this tier 1 tower and even like taking this tier 1 tower. Nitro is too far away to go for the rotation, so he decided to, okay, I'm gonna secure gold on my side to get the tower of gold for myself and the team. Using the Icecorn Talon is very good because you get like more damage, and also if people arrive, suddenly you have the field to help you disengage and you're pretty fine. And here you can see like he got a lot of damage on the tower. Tower is very close to dying, and also like he denied the whole wave. Wombo once again like dashing in 2 times. Which means that he also like uses ultimate. Like I think that's a mistake because now like you can't fight, and I feel like Wombo is playing like this matchup very weirdly. He shouldn't like go aggressive like that because now he doesn't have his ultimate. Once his ultimate is out of like commission, like Nitro has no risk of dying because he can just win the normal trade. And so then he secure like the tower. When the tower is actually like not that free to take for the side of Nitro because Nuxlit was around. But Wombo just going like for like double forward crunch actually like offered a free tower for Nitro. And so now we're going for a back with a lot of gold thanks to this local gold for the tier 1 tower, offering gold also to all his team. Nitro being like super far ahead also in terms of CS, like we can see 40 CS back up because of the rotation of Wombo. We're finishing augmentation. We already get like Volleyed Brush and Serrated Blade towards Tinted Blade, while Wumbo is still like working towards his first item, Mutilator. So here Wumbo won't not even be able like to fully crush the wave. Actually, it's actually like fine. It's crashing, so Nitro can't like fully freeze that. So it's gonna like slowly bounce back. But Nitro here, I guess, is going to try to hard pressure the lane, crush it as fast as he can, so he can actually like then rotate towards like the Fangtooth. As we can see, the Fangtooth has respawned. He pushed the lane. Wumbo have to like he's in the mid lane, so he's not gonna catch any of that experience, and the wave is going to slow push in the other direction. And here we have Nitro rotating. We catch the dash, we get the stun, we get the flash into the ultimate. This crunch has absolutely no impact for the next like Fangtooth, and while Nitro is like fully ready with Icecorn Talon, full mana, full health, Coliseum up, that should be like a very hard to contest Fangtooth for the side of Nobody's Business. And here we can see, since there is no contest, Nitro is like leaving the pit early, going back into his off lane. While here we do have Atomic that actually like trying to split push, and so since Atomic is in the lane, they said, okay, we're gonna accept that you're gonna take my tier 1 tower, but we're gonna take the tier 1 tower in mid lane. And losing the tier 1 tower in mid lane is actually like worse than losing the tier 1 tower in offlane, because offlaners don't really care that much. And since here we have Atomic on the side of the map here, that's just said like, okay, let's go for all tier 1 towers. We have Nitro that was around, go for the rotation, try to go for the Coliseum, but unfortunately Bonks is dying a little bit too fast, so I think we don't get any stack, and now we're gonna secure like also the tier 1 tower into the dual lane. And so Professor just playing better the map overall, getting like a tower up and the objective. A little bit sad that they do lose like the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. I think that could have been like avoided in the end. But we get the 2 towers on each side, but we get the Fangtooth up, and Wumbo has been like spending a lot of time just like navigating around. And so despite the fact that Nitro wasn't in lane for so long, we still like don't have anything like to catch up from Wumbo. They do secure the mini prime on Nuxlit, and we're trying to get that fight. Wumbo missing the dash, Nitro just like focusing the camera. They need to kill the camera as fast as they can so he can't start regen. Call has been used. Nitro still like not chasing the next target. We get the barricade onto Crisis Squad and Boinks, and that's just gonna be like a very clean cleanup. Every single member of the side of Nobody's Business got absolutely obliterated, and what Nitro does immediately, everyone is dead. I don't have a farm on my lane to get nearby, so I'm gonna invade the jungle. To be fair, he has to be careful, because if the wave like reach under tower, then he's losing like a lot of farm, but luckily for him, like the lane is gonna stop before, and so he's going to go for the chill buff, and then he's probably gonna catch the wave, trying to maximize his farm. Overall, like going for this 5 cam denied farm from Nuxlit, but he lose a lot from like that wave that was there, so I'm not sure it was the most efficient play, but I kind of like the idea, like the aggression, like as soon as the play is finished, what do I do next, and immediately go for it to try to not have any tempo down. So we are going back to base, starting to work towards a third item. That seems to be a Heroic Guard tier 2, so probably like maybe a Legacy to not get like CC chain. Probably like because we're against the Rictor. And so we want to be able to survive if we get hooked in those situations. And here we're rotating, combining with the team. There is not much to be found on the offlane. And so we're just like looking at getting a little bit of damage. We use the damage. We're gonna find Nuxlit using the cage to protect him. Unfortunately, Wumbo finally find the kill onto Crazy Fool, but then like it's still like a 4-for-1 overall. Professor kind of dominating very heavily the match, and now they're gonna apply pressure on the tier 2 tower. A lot of like those situations has been done, like the dual lane on the side of Nobody's Business is getting absolutely dominating, 6, 7, 1 and 6. And we do have the Twin Blast support, 1015. But Nitro played very, very well the early game, and to be fair, like he didn't do anything super fancy. It's just that Wumbo didn't respect the matchup at level 2, then Nitro take like the very good advantage of the situation. Almost threw the advantage out of the window by going for this flash aggressively and not respecting the potential of Nuxlead being around. But then like he's still like playing better the map. Wombo has been rotating a lot. He's falling so far behind and has a crunch. If you fall that far behind, you're not really that impactful. Fanctus is going to respawn pretty soon, in less than a minute. Professor is probably going to look for that. Trying to find like boinks again here. But luckily for her or him, I don't know, it doesn't get like picked up here. And here we have like a little trap, little chance CC, we get for the hook, we do miss like the thorn space, and that's another stack for Nitro. 5 level up compared to the enemy support. 2 level up compared to this tier act opposition, and that means that now we get like a free kill. Professor is going to try to actually like force R prime immediately as soon as the R prime spawn with 4 people. They're super far ahead. They do have the shield to not take damage from the missile, so like the biggest damaging ability is completely like nullified, and you can see that nobody's business is not even close to actually like come to contest. And so that's gonna be a free R prime at 20 minutes, and a free R prime that's gonna probably be converted into a triple Fanctus. That's gonna be pretty rough to come by. Here we see that Nitro is not even caring about the Fanctus. He's just gonna set up wave. He trusts that his team can get the Fanctus by themselves, and even like the time it takes to walk towards the wave, the Fanctus is already finished. So it's just like gonna like pressure a little bit. We have triple Fanctus, R prime, with like triple the amount of kill of the enemy team. It's time to just like be aggressive, push very deep, and secure like inhibitors at that point. Wumbo on the other side of the map is trying like to actually like apply pressure, but at the same time he's gonna get like maybe a tier 2 tower while the rest of the team is like actually trying to get inhibitors. So sacrificing your tier 2 tower is actually okay. And here we're going on to Boinks. Boinks flashing immediately to survive. And then like I guess now it's time. Atomic trying to catch the wave behind. So that's, I kind of like the play, but I don't think they will be good enough to actually like clear that wave that is under the tower. So true, Atomic catching the wave, so there will be no reinforcement wave, but at the same time the inhibitor is already taken, so there is nothing to be fine. And Nitro go back to base defending against the split push of Wombo, and now he's going to push back into the other direction, while the side of Professor actually like looking to end the game, trying to cancel the back so Wombo can help his team defend, but unfortunately not successfully doing so. So that makes that probably they can't fully finish the game on the side of Professor immediately. Nitro is gonna keep pushing while the rest of the team of Professor is going to try to get like the mid lane inhibitors. As we can see, like a huge wave is arriving, and that should be like a pretty easy secure. Nitro then gonna arrive, taking this tier 2 tower, preparing like the next big wave to be able to get also the left inhibitors. And I would assume that Professor is gonna disengage from this whole situation while actually getting like all the inhibitors for themselves. They do have to be careful. They try like to go in, try to find some kills, but in the meantime, Atomic going like for the black hole, as we can see farther. Nitro still focusing on what is his job here. He can't really like walk towards a team fight. Like his job is like to bring this wave towards the next inhibitor. Professor going a little bit too all in here, and in the end, like everyone dies except like the Nitro that was split pushing and Survivor. And so now they do have to be careful. Wombo gonna sacrifice himself. I guess Wombo is still limit testing from like the previous scrims, but he gets absolutely annihilated. And here Nitro is just gonna catch like some wave, but he can't finish by himself. 3 people are up on the enemy team. He's gonna try to actually pressure by himself. So actually, like I said, he can't finish by himself, but he's still like thinking that he can go for it, get the skewer. Everyone coming back, you know, have to disengage. And you have to go back, spending his gold. Legacy is finished. Gonna have like 2,000 more gold to buy like advancing towards the first item. And yeah, it's just a matter of like going for one more push on the side of Professor to actually end the game. They're like super duper far ahead. And yeah, we got the fortified mantle, the stone of strength, if I'm not mistaken. And here there is nothing to be really taken on the map. Fengtus is down, our prime is down. So we can just like keep going, advancing and trying to actually like pressure lanes. And maybe if you pressure all lanes together, there is like an opportunity for you to finish the game. We do find Boinks here. We get like the Coliseum onto 2 people. Boinks doesn't have flash, so we're trying like to get like as much damage as we can. We're gonna find like 2 picks probably out of that. Wumbo is trying like to survive as long as he can, but against like those 4 people, there is not much he can do. And now suddenly we're only 3 people to defend the onslaught of professors. With your inhibitor, your core that is actually like at half HP, it's gonna be a rough situation. And they all march forward. A lot of damage has been done thanks to like the... And we go immediately onto Crazy Scott. We do find like some kills. We do get the Black Hole, but the damage is too much. Atomic is forced to go back into the core and the Fontaine, and then we finish the game on the side of Professors. So complete domination. To be fair, we kind of see like Nitro, top tier offlaner, facing against Wumbo. Wumbo has made a lot of mistakes. Nitro has punished those mistakes very, very, very well. And the rest of the map was also under fire. But I still think it was an interesting game, at least like for educational purposes, not really like for like the excitement of how close it was. But actually I think it was like a good, like the first 10 minutes, I think it's a good like a study case for offlaners to actually like learn how to not make mistake and how to actually like create like a situation that is so hard for an enemy offlaner. The moment of not backing after getting the teal buff was very, very instructional. And then also like going for the aggressive flash, actually costing a lot of the lead that was built by Nitro. So even like if Nitro played almost flawlessly, he still made some mistake. And so there was like still room for learning from this match.